What is teleportation? It's the act of instantly moving from one location to another without physically traveling the distance in between. Did Jesus teleport out of his sealed tomb on the day of his resurrection? John 16:21 says, "When evening came, his disciples went down to the lake, where they got into a boat and set off across the lake for Capernaum. By now it was dark, and Jesus had not yet joined them. A strong wind was blowing, and the waters grew rough. When they had rowed about 3 or 4 miles, they saw Jesus approaching the boat, walking on the water, and they were frightened. But he said to them, 'It is I. Don't be afraid.' Then they were willing to take him into the boat, and immediately the boat reached the shore where they were heading. Did Jesus teleport onto the surface of the water and then do continuous teleporting, making it look like he was walking on water? Did he then teleport the whole boat back to the shore?" John 20:19-26 says, "On the evening of that first day of the week, after Jesus' death and resurrection, when the disciples were together, with the doors locked for fear of the Jewish leaders, Jesus came and stood among them." Did Jesus teleport into a locked room? He was suddenly amongst the disciples without coming through the door or walking through the walls. Regarding the story of Jesus meeting 2 disciples on the road to Emmaus, Luke 24:31 states, "And their eyes were opened, and they knew him, and he vanished out of their sight." How did he manage to vanish? Did he teleport out of there? Jesus seemed to have teleported long before his death. Luke 4:29-31 says, "They got up, drove him out of the town, and led him to the brow of the hill on which the town was built, in order to throw him over the cliff. But Jesus passed through the crowd and went on his way. Then he went down to Capernaum, a town in Galilee. And on the Sabbath he began to teach the people. So a murderous mob had forced Jesus to the edge of a cliff. Then he suddenly escaped, passed through the crowd. Did he teleport out of there? How else did he get past the crowd intent on his death with all eyes on him? None of this would be in any way surprising if Jesus knew all about the secrets of quantum teleportation. Jesus the Shapeshifter. One of the most puzzling aspects of the New Testament is how often Jesus' nearest and dearest do not recognize him. His 2 disciples on the road to Emmaus did not know who he was. Mary Magdalene, one of his most intimate companions, at first thought he was the gardener. Mark 16:12 says, "Afterward, Jesus appeared in a different form to 2 of them while they were walking in the country." Did Jesus escape the mob in Capernaum by shifting his appearance? Or were the mob in fact seeing the Jesus from the other world, who had a slightly different appearance and mannerisms?